Tapping in.
Are we live?
Recommended and review.
Guess who's back? Doom, 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 doom. Review again. Doom, 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 doom.
Who does it better, man? Who does it better? Somebody needs to tell me.
Yes, sir. Look, Nardo Wick, man. Who is Nardo Wick, man?
I don't know who Nardo Wick is, but what I do know about Nardo Wick is I have not stopped playing this album since I have heard it. This has easily been one of my most played albums. This and that I Swear Vezo on repeat.
Yeah, shout out to I Swear Bezo. I like
Who is Nardo Wick, Miles?
Huh?
Who is Nardo Wick?
Who is Nardo Wick? Nardo Wick is a gentleman that's heavy in my rotation as well. And I'm embarrassed to say that I'm not sure where he's from, but I think he is one of a great example of a hip hop artist whose talent speaks for itself, right? Like I put this on and there's a sound that I'm super familiar with and an artist that is immediately trying to differentiate themselves, at least in quality and at least in like demonstrating like I do this type of music better than your favorite local rapper, right? And I really appreciate it, and I think there's room in the hip hop space for it. But when I hear a debut album like this, my question to you, and I would love to get your thought, is where is the ultimate trajectory for an artist like Nardo Wick?
Let's use comparable albums as precedent, right? And see what happened. You could put this album next to Roddy Ricch's first album. I see a lot of similarities in both of that. I see obviously Roddy's The Box was more of a smash hit, but Nardo came out with that Who Wants Smoke. That's a viral hit on TikTok. That sound, really blew up and worked for him, and has a lot of people imitating it too. So if the past is if the past is precedent, then we'd have to put him under the Roddy Ricch angle.
Really?
Yeah.
I think there's more of an edge to this than Roddy Ricch got.
Can I ask you something a little bit alongside this hip hop conversation?
Yeah.
Would you rather be Trinidad James or Rich Homie Quan?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I think I would rather be Rich Homie Quan. But that's me as somebody who's like hip hop to death, right? That might not be the better business or monetary decision. I'm not really sure.
Nah, just
elaborate.
The real question. Now remember my real question. Would you rather be Rich Homie Quan or Dizzy Wright?
You know me, I would rather be Dizzy Wright. Actually, yeah, I would rather be Dizzy. I would rather be Dizzy. Well, that's me kind of dissing Rich Homie Quan's catalog. That's a good question because my instinct is to say I would rather be Dizzy Wright because Dizzy Wright lyrically was capable of making a very meaningful and thoughtful type of music appeal in a very important way. I think Rich Homie Quan is able to make really emotional music in a lot of ways, and also really fun music, and then probably in a more profitable way. But he's lyrical enough that it makes it hard for me to choose between the two.
Just an interesting hip hop question that I stumbled on. But going back to this Nardo Wick, man, this is really hard. And I think one of the cool things about listening to this type of album is that it's a different take on the common sound, right? Like you had said, like, oh, this is your favorite sound. Is this what you love? Like, is this what your favorite rapper does? Let me show you how to do it even better. And I think he definitely approaches it that way. Clearly, this dude is very skillful in putting concepts and ideas together. Even with that "Who Wants Smoke," that ad lib, that that ad lib usage that he does, and that that's very ingenuitive from a creative perspective. So this kid is clearly very, very talented.
Yeah. And yeah, I liked where you were taking the conversation in terms of like other examples of artists that have come out with an album that really like hits the streets like this one does, right? And I think of NBA YoungBoy, I think of NLE Choppa, right? But I also think of King Von, right? I think of 6ix9ine, right? And I bring those names into it because there's a treacherous path when you're because and that's why I kind of was like, do you really feel like this Roddy Ricch is the closest comparison? Because Roddy Ricch is also dabbling in R&B from the jump, and also is a little poppier, a little bit. There's just I think there's a little bit more edge to Nardo, who it puts him in that category that makes it really lucrative, makes the videos look a certain way, and makes the environment a certain way that makes it a little treacherous, right? And I'm always my heart is hardened, I think, in hip hop in the past decade or so when I see artists come in that have this potential but are in that treacherous space, you know?
I tell you what, Future and Young Thug is still extremely present in in pushing the culture of current trap music forward. If I had to assume, I think I would say that Nardo Wick's from Atlanta. Just seeing the different features that he has on that album, Thug, Future, and you've seen Future really extend his arm. A lot of my favorite rappers have a bunch of features from Future. I'm talking Dirk, Icewear Vezo, Nardo Wick, like we said, the Babyface Ray. There's a lot of that, right? And Future is really taking these guys under his umbrella, bro. That. This is another extension of the Future influence, and it's past the Gucci Man esque uh cosign, if you will, because there was a time where even to this day, Gucci just knows the gold and he knows how to support it, and that's exactly what we're seeing Future doing. And this is one of the best versions of it out right now.
Yes, sir. And yeah, and you speaking like you right on, you spot on, bro. Like even with Gucci, like bringing in the game, like Pooh Shiesty, like it's kind of like
Mm.
I love, dude. You do know how much I was going crazy off the first few Pooh Shiesty records we heard,
Bruh,
like
bruh,
you know,
remind me of Lil Baby back in 2016, bro.
bro. And shout out to Big 30 too, you know what I mean? But it's just like it seems like it's like 50-50 like that. You know, these new artists come in the game and there's so many pitfalls. So I want to see this man move smart. I love to see artists like 21 Savage, you know, even though he had his own issues, you know, immigration is a mug, man. They be trying to
Hmm.
move people around, mess up people's lifestyle, but like there are some examples of really successful rappers who have navigated those waters and are in a great space. And I just hope to see, like, yeah, Nardo Wick continue to be that. But that's enough, man, on the hip hop like granddad side, man. What are some of the hits from this one, man? What are some of your favorites, man? Give us the highlights.
The highlights, man. I really really enjoy Wickman. This has been my gym music for better part of the last 2-3 months, man. Steady on rotation, Wickman, me or some certified
Yes,
banger. Lullaby is also super dope. Wicked Witch, Wicked Freestyle, super dope.
bruh. Bruh. Yep. I'm right here with you, man. I messed with Power, Wicked Witch, even the Wicked Freestyle. Yep. Popping out, Big 30. There he is. You know what I'm saying? Wick Man, Chop Chop. All right. Yeah, this is one of those rare times where you get an album from somebody who's really doing their own sound. It's a little bit aggressive. It's a little bit more than a little bit aggressive. It's aggressive. It's high intensity, but it also it doesn't wear on your ears, right? It doesn't give you that ear fatigue that a lot of albums that have that intensity sometimes uh that give you. So this is on the harder side of what I might recommend to a broader spectrum of people, if that makes sense, right? I think they'll recognize some of the sounds. They'll definitely recognize some of the producers, some of the production. So yeah, man. Who is Nardo Wick? If I could try to cook up a number to give it, I might give it a 3 point. Nah, it's a 3.5 or a 4 to me. What you think? What you thinking, bro?
I think definitely giving it a 4, man. I think this is I was gonna actually give it a 4.5 even.
Woo.
Yeah, I think
Like it,
it's
man. Let's give the youngin like why not? Up it. 4.5 out of 5. Mike's
4.5, 4.5.
Nardo Wick, certified, recommended. There was a time when this show, in addition to reviewing hip hop, also reviewed USC things, and you see that as the banner. My brother is chopping it up behind the board. Speaking of chop, you know what I'm saying? Even though we experienced some chop in the signal, my man's is fighting through it as well. You've been killing it this episode, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your
It's
hip hop
good.
knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everything you bring to the show. And we appreciate y'all out there for tuning in, man. Tell us what y'all think. Share y'all's hip hop knowledge. What do you think of these albums? Have you listened to them? What should we review next? I think we might have to do another 2 for, I don't know. We got some Matt Kami to review. We got some Corday to review. That's coming soon. If I could put that in the air. So more music, more hip hop, more love, man.